Hey guys, I'm Jaleesa and I'm back for another video, Fidget. Today is going to be sort of a continuation of the Disneyland with Tourette's, but it's also going to be sort of a Tourette's story time video, Fidget. I had a lot of interesting experiences at the park, Fiji, that I thought were pretty funny and that you might be interested in. So, in case you don't know this about Tourette's, any sort of emotion, especially Fidget. Fuck off, cat. Fiji. People calling, interrupting my video. Fidget. Anyways, where was I? Right. So, in case you didn't know this about Tourette's, Fiji, any sort of emotion, and especially for me, excitement can make it a lot worse. So when I got to the park, my tics went crazy because I love Disneyland. Fidget. You can ask anyone who knows me. I'm just obsessed with the park and I can't get enough of it. I wish I could go there every day. And on every ride, Fiji, my tics would explode even more so. Bananas. So I must have been very amusing to watch on the ride. I wish I could have filmed it for you guys because it was so entertaining, I guess. And for the record, I'm not saying that my Tourette's in itself was funny, Fidget, but just the things that I was doing and saying were. If you want my opinion on whether Tourette's is funny or not, I will put a link in the description to my video, Is Tourette's Funny? Go watch that. But after you watch this video, then go watch that. And then watch all of my other videos. I believe the first ride that we went on was the Matterhorn. And if you don't know, the abominable snowman on the Matterhorn is called Harold Cat. Not Harold Cats, though, just Harold. And I was shouting his name the entire time. I was asking him different questions. I don't remember exactly what I said. I think I might have proposed to him at some point, which is a little bit awkward, Fiji. But, yeah, it was quite interesting. Indiana Jones was really interesting because my tics actually made up a little bit of a song on that ride, Fiji. Believe it or not, on the ride I started singing Skulls of Doom, I love you, Skulls of Doom. And no, that's not my real singing voice, that's just how it came out. Except, even more excited. I think I was like shouting it a bit. Fidget. I'm not going to do that right now. Fidget. I think Tower of Terror was the most interesting ride I went on, Fiji, just because, my tics increased and increased and increased. Fiji. What? Oh, excuse me. My tics were increasing and increasing right up through when I got on the ride. And I was shouting things, I was kicking things, and one of the things that I was shouting the most, funnily enough, was, Miranda, get out of the elevator, Fiji. But the interesting thing was, after the first drop, I didn't tic for the rest of the ride. I thought that was quite interesting and quite unexpected. I thought the first drop would just send my tics through the roof, but I guess they sort of just... Yeah, I didn't tic after that first drop until the ride ended. It was weird, but it was really nice. I was more relaxed then than I've ever been in months. This last funny story I actually posted on Facebook. Hold on, let me get it. Piano. Fuck off. So we met Kylo Ren, Fiji, and before I could explain anything, I started ticking and I started saying, Fidget, do you have a cat under that mask? Are you an alien from space? Do I get to go to space? I want to go to space, Fiji. And he had the best response ever, Fiji. He just sort of looked at me from under his, mask, and said, keep your thoughts to yourself, Fiji. Fidget. To which my tics responded, can you speak in a deeper voice? Bonus story, this one's not that funny, but I thought it was worth mentioning. I actually did meet someone else with Tourette's at the park. and it was pretty cool because I'd been sort of having a hard time with my tics throughout the trip and being stared at. Fiji. I still enjoyed my trip, but it was kind of stressful. Fiji. And then on the second day that we were there, fidget. I was waiting for some food. Fiji. I saw a girl to my left just sort of do a head twitch, and I sort of stared at her a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, Fiji. But then I stopped, and she heard me ticking. So she stared at me a little bit, and then she stopped, fidget. And we were both sort of like looking at each other, but trying not to stare, fidget. And I think at some point, we just realized how ridiculous we were being, and we just had a normal conversation. Fiji. I normally don't like small talk, but I hadn't made small talk the entire trip, which was unusual for me for a trip to Disneyland. Because I haven't always had Tourette's as bad as I do now. You can watch my first video, I'll link it in the description. But long story short, I wasn't always as bad as this. So, my Disneyland trips used to be fairly normal, and we used to have small talk with people in lines and stuff all of the time. Fidget, and this trip there was none of that until I saw that girl. And, it was just like there was no judgment or weird reactions to worry about or anything. So it was pretty nice. That's it for me today. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Fuck off. Don't do that. But like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more of my face, cat, and more of my videos if you want to see more stuff like this. Fiji. I've got a Q&A coming up soon. Fiji, probably the next video. So if you have any questions for me, whether they be about my Tourette's or just general questions, leave that in the comment section below. And tell me about any funny stories that you had about Disneyland, whether they're about Tourette's or not. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!